rights, trans rights.
I would say that it is lambs to the slaughter. However, the problem with that phrase is that typically the lambs don't actually allow something to come in. It's more like chickens allowing the fox to come into the chicken coop. Guys, I want to take a second, apologize for not getting any content on Wednesday. The reason why, of course, was because I wanted to do some fact collecting, a little bit more research on a couple more things before I decided to give you guys some discussions and some actual news and some crazy things that we're seeing, especially as far as the left is concerned, because as you guys are seeing, there are a lot of people who are, let's just say, protesting in New York City, and of course, in a lot of America's largest cities, basically doing the whole queers for Palestine, the whole anti-Israel type thing, that sort of stuff that the left likes to perpetuate. And don't worry, that's going to be kind of a theme for Thursday, because we got 3 videos to release here on John Claymore, all 3 of which, by the way, will be about the radical left. And of course, to go on top of that, there will also be another video on Gear Issue 33 that kind of talks about the global implications, and it has some actual interviews for, some updates, some additional updates for Gear Issue 33. So make sure you guys stick around for that. I'll leave a link in the comment section. And with that right there being said, let's go ahead and talk about this little issue of immigration and how it's actually going to make matters a lot worse here. Now, before I do that, I need to show you something from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, because they made an extremely good point about what's going on in England, and how is it always said, the way England typically tends to go, the United States is not too far behind. Let's go ahead and
assisted transition program for the T's, at least.
Oh, wait, it's in the Salford Keys as well. I went to university right here. This is the Media City.
That's where the BBC in the background.
Keys. Yeah,
it's the BBC building.
The people I went to university with probably worked there and were probably in this crowd.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine a decent number of those people are administrators or
are retarded
employees at one of those 2 buildings.
Future producers who will not be calling Hamas terrorists, as is the editorial mandate over at the BBC. Actually, I'm glad you brought up the LGBT thing. I'm going to skip ahead one link and go back to it, because someone decided to show up showing intersectional solidarity at the Trafalgar Square protest in London with an LGBT sign. And one diversity took the sign, the Progress Pride flag, and as you can see here, he nicks it off them and decides to run around and trample on it on the street. As Lois said, friend of the show, admiration isn't always mutual. Turns out they're not on board with the current.
I'd say the only foreign aid that I would be in favour was if we took our foreign aid budget, and every time somebody waved a flag which was like, LGBTQ for Palestine, is that we immediately flew them out to, Gaza, and gave them a flag and said, right, go give that a wave, see what happens.
I couldn't endorse violence in that, Dan, but of course, because I actually recognise what goes on in Gaza, unlike these people.
Well, you saying that implies that there would be some kind of guaranteed violence committed to that person for doing such a thing, and I thought that Palestine and other parts of the Middle East are better than that.
Really quick, you guys obviously saw that. You saw the whole Queers for Palestine shtick, of course, what actually ended up occurring there. And of course, this video is going to probably get the yellow dollar sign like normal, but at this point in time, of course, we're just kind of slogging through and trying to get by the rest of the year until we get to our bigger content. I'm just kidding. Obviously, guys, I do in fact love doing this, and I do in fact love the content that I put out there. It's a shame that YouTube does this to people who are telling you the truth and trying to give you exactly what is going on in the world. It's just the way things are. They do this right to conservative speakers. Part of the reason why these types of videos, of course, after this year, if I make them anymore, they will more than likely go on Rumble, where I actually can, in fact. But then again, though, I've also gotten some recent news that I'm probably not going to be able to do this on Rumble either the way I want to, because Rumble still has a bit of a system in place that's kind of getting BSy. I found that out from a reliable source. Dr. Dave Jonda and a few others are actually beginning to get fed up there, but don't worry, we'll discuss that later on this year. The reason why these people have this mindset is something that we're going to be talking about in the 3rd video of the day, because the 2nd video is going to be about the left turning on one another. And of course, we're going to kind of put a bow on top of things tomorrow with that video that I've got planned to go further into this, or at least as far as the left's mindset with all of this, because some additional information has came down as of recording this video. But still, though, what are these people invited in? Well, I'm showing you guys this tweet right here. Mayor Muriel Bowser of Washington, D.C., has pretty much, for the most part, decided to clamp down on crime. Yes, that's true. Now, why in the world would she do this? Well, the defund the police crowd is starting to realize that defund the police was obviously a bad idea, but they do it for political reasons. I knew right off the bat that the whole defund the police thing was nothing more than a good old-fashioned grab at votes. They wanted to get some people out there who don't vote every election cycle to come out and actually vote for them. Let me put it to you this way here, okay? I'm going to give you guys a bit of an example of what I mean. Back in 2016, part of Donald Trump's base was voters who had not voted in previous elections. Some of these were first-time voters, but in reality, they weren't really and truly first-time voters. They were voters who just simply had not voted in the previous 2 election cycles. Some of these people voted for George W. Bush in 2004. They stayed home. Some of these people voted for John Kerry in 2004. Stayed home in 2008. Stayed home in 2012. Stayed home in 2008 and 2012. A lot of them were Tea Party voters in 2010, who, by the way, also did not come out to vote in 2012 because they thought Mitt Romney was a bit weak. They didn't exactly like him. A lot of these were also Obama voters from 2008, some of them 2012 that flipped. And, of course, a lot of those were first-time voters as well. So you got to ask yourself a question, how in the world did he get the voter base? That is the way he got the voter base. People oftentimes will vote for a certain candidate believing that said candidate is going to give them exactly what it is that they want. First time in a while, true believer, all this type of thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people felt that way when John F. Kennedy was president or when John F. Kennedy was running for president. Of course, in 1968 and 1972, Richard Nixon was able to tap into the whole silent majority thing. I've talked about 68 before on this channel a lot, and I'm probably going to be speaking a lot about that going in the near future, especially when we start covering stories, because these are stories that actually shape our society and what has actually led to this. And I'm probably going to be going back a very long way, so expect that. Now, I may even change the name of the channel. Right now, I'm thinking about disassociative indifference. I'm not sure. Or maybe comfortably woke. I really, truly don't know. I'll let you guys kind of help me out in the comment section with that. But still, the thing is this right here. You got all this immigration. You got all these people coming in. And, of course, all these people who are coming in are eventually just going to cause a crime. It always leads to some form of catastrophe. It always leads to some form of let's just say an uptick in crime. And in this case right here, it's going to be much, much more violent than normal. Now, the reason why I'm putting the global implications video on Gear Issue 33 is because it's kind of a component to this video here that I want my Gear Issue 33 audience to see as well. And I hope they subscribe over here and you guys subscribe over here. But still, the thing is this right here. Europe has actually been importing a lot of illegals for a while from Africa and, of course, from the Middle East. We did a video a while back, and I can't find the clip, where one of the let's just say one of the bigwigs or one of the people who left the region, the Middle East, was basically saying that the people that were being imported to Europe were not exactly what we call the people of the most high character. They were actually the criminals, the dregs of their society, the lower class, which, by the way, say what you want to, but they have a bit of a caste system over there. I mean, the lower income you have, the lower that you're actually looked upon. These people act like the United States when they had slavery up until 1865, still practice it, yet they've never actually been in the Middle East. They've never actually seen exactly what goes on over there. They've never actually seen the actual true wickedness of the people who live in the area. Not everybody who lives in the Middle East is like I'm talking about, like the terrorists, those who have the little caste system in place, those who, decapitate you for, living a certain lifestyle, which, by the way, I mentioned earlier, the whole Queers for Palestine thing. Now, here's the problem that we're going to have. Now, bear with me on this right here. I just mentioned Muriel Bowser wanting to increase, police work. You're going to see that in New York. You're going to see it in Chicago. It won't work. It won't work for a multitude of reasons. You see, the left has actually invited in the people that will at some point in time eliminate them. I've talked about this on several occasions. I've told you guys that crime was coming to these very large cities. You've got immigration problems, and now you've got people out here protesting for these people to come over. I hate to tell you this, but these people will, in fact, be coming over. They're already coming through the border. We've done several videos on that. I don't think I need to rehash that, but what do you think is going to happen next? Go ahead and tell you. So right now, you've got a lot of people, a lot of Hispanics coming across the border, and I've basically sounded the alarm on this, and I'll go ahead and sound the alarm on this one more time. Most of the people who tried to surge the border were people that were in very bad situations, very bad environments. So really quick, I'm very much in favor of a closed border and a border wall. I don't want these people coming in illegally. However, I'm okay with legal immigration, and a lot of this stems back to the fact that I have been, in my life, pretty well lenient on this topic because I was raised around people who, well, I'll put it this way here. If you live in the area that I grew up in, chances are I'd say 2 out of every 10 people were black, and 2 out of every 10 people were, in fact, Hispanic, mostly Mexican, come over, work the fields, keep themselves, raise a family, save their money, all live together, huddle up. And of course, as the more and more successful you get, the more and more the family grows. The vast majority of these people, I'd say 99.9%, do eventually apply for citizenship. Not all of them get it, but they're trying. That's kind of where the leniency portion of my life came from. Now I kind of realize, okay, there are a lot of people taking advantage of the system. This is the exact way I feel about child support. While I'm not against a lady collecting child support or whatnot, what I am against is somebody leeching the system, because a lot of these people who collect it don't even use it to take care of their kids. They go out there and just do the whole bling bling and buy very, very expensive things. And a lot of times they're not even working an actual job. I've personally seen this on several occasions. Please don't beat me up. Well, you know what? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments on that. Right? That's fine with me. Fact of the matter is, the system is being leashed upon. So when you bring a bunch of people in and they're coming across the border and they're going to these very, very large cities, which, by the way, as we've covered in previous videos, like say New York, where a lot of Venezuelans are about to get work visas, what happens is that one particular race, and we know which race that is, they eventually get phased out of their jobs. That's going to create a lot of desperation. And I mean, it's going to create a lot of desperation. Now, what do you think happens when you bring a bunch of people in who are not, how do I say, up on American culture, and in fact even hate the United States, and even may very, very well blame the United States for what is going on in their land? Yes, I'm still very, very much pro-Israel and on Israel's side with this, and I believe we should let Israel defend themselves and go ahead and finish off the problem. But we have to worry about a current administration that's probably going to want to import a bunch of people. As a matter of fact, there's actually been calls. I want to say Jamal Bowman, the crazy one who pulled the fire alarm in Congress the other day, he has already called for this. He's already called for these refugees to come here to the United States, when in reality they should be going to Egypt and they should be going to other countries. We've already talked about how it is that they don't want them in these other nations. I showed you guys the video where Charlie Kirk was on the Patrick Bet-David podcast talking about this. But here's the problem, though. What do you think is going to happen when these people get over here and they start seeing gay pride flags and Queers for Palestine and crap like that? They're going to know that the wolf was allowed to go into the actual chicken coop. The fox has officially entered the chicken coop, and the chickens, for the most part, actually let him in. Before, I said that it was BRT, that this is their plan to actually replace black votes. But now that I think about it, I also think now it's very, very possible this is also their plan to eliminate white votes. They're eliminating white liberals is what they're doing. I mean, doesn't it kind of, make you think that maybe it's possible that these people are going to see all these gay pride things, these gay pride signs and all that stuff there, and they're probably going to think to themselves, do we really and truly want to be around these people? I mean, I saw somebody earlier was getting upset about the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu decided to pretty much say this in his speech.
Our war against Hamas is a test for all of humanity. It is a struggle between the axis of evil of Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas, and the axis of freedom and progress. We are the people of the light. They are the people of darkness, and light shall triumph over darkness. Citizens of Israel, October 7th was a very dark and black day in our history. We will fully investigate what had happened at our southern border, the border with Gaza. Everybody will have to provide answers, myself included, but all that will happen only after the war. As a prime minister, I'm responsible for guaranteeing the future of this country, and now my role is to lead all Israelis, the state of Israel and the people of Israel, to an overpowering victory. It is now a time to come together for one purpose, to storm ahead to achieve victory. With joint forces and a profound belief in our justness, a profound belief in the eternity of the Jewish people, we shall realize the prophecy of Isaiah. There will no longer be stealing at your borders, and your gates will be of glory. Together we will fight. Together we will win.
You know what this right here sounds like to me? It sounds to me like a video that I made a while back on Gear Issue 33. The video, of course, was talking about Andrew Tanner, the character from the movie Red Dawn, about the possibility of how it was the United States could be invaded. And I personally don't think it ever could be done by way of sending planes over or anything like that, but it could happen through our southern border. And of course, we've done a lot of topics here on immigration discussing the southern border and the people being let in. We've also done a lot of discussion, had a lot of videos done, not only on that, but a lot of videos have been done on the possibility that people could come through the border. And of course, as you guys already know, a lot of these people are in fact being brought in through the southern border. Fascinating. Fascinating how it was that these people completely went out of their way to not read the room, as you guys are about to see here.
Made excellent. TFL, which I have to brave every day. There was a tube driver who actually led a chant of Free Palestine over the tannoy on the tube. He's been since referred to the British Transport Police. I don't expect he'll lose his job, going to be honest. I mean,
It's
maybe
very
maybe it's
difficult for a
obvious
tube
in it.
driver to lose their job. They've got a very strong union.
Yeah. Again, why? Why is there a population that exists to pack tubes out that you wish to placate for this kind of
Do you
sentiment?
mind if I play some of the audio?
Yeah, sure, please.
Everyone cheering.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Well, as you said, there's a show of ethnic solidarity on display within this tube carriage. It doesn't matter about the character of Hezbollah and Hamas. It matters about, are we the same color and are we the same religion, and are they furthering the same goal?
Well, there's one thing about it as well, which is that they know that they can get away with it, and they know that on a certain level, there are white people, I know, shocking in London, on that tube carriage that they're on right there. And they will know that on a certain level, whether or not these people say that they are, completely in favor of all of the current thing, it makes them uncomfortable because there comes to a certain point when you recognize a tipping point in ethnic representation in your street, in your city, where your brain, consciously or not, will recognize, hold up, I'm in the minority in here. I'm in danger here, because you will recognize one way or not, other peoples do not have the same behavioral standards. They do not have the same standards of, shall we say, a fair fight.
Well, granted, guys, that right there is in England, but these are people who, quite frankly, do not like the United States that are coming in. These are people who hate the United States, and they hate them. These people probably did not think that the Palestinians and the people who live in the Middle East, they did not think that they were probably coming to their neighborhoods. But guess what? They're going to be going to their neighborhoods because they actually have a president that they wanted who, quite frankly, is giving them what they wanted. A lot of times people love to talk about sanctuary cities and how we need to let people in. But if I remember correctly, back in 2019, when they couldn't get anything done on the border situation, Trump said, you know what, why don't we just send these people to your neighborhood? And of course, they got upset. They got pissed off. They cowered and basically said, no, we don't want them. It's all one great big giant virtue signaling attempt, which we'll talk about more in video 3. But the fact of the matter is this right here. These people are getting what it is that they paid for. The question is, are they really and truly going to want the product once it actually gets into their streets? I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys are probably thinking to yourself, they voted for it, and I've said on several occasions, yeah, they voted for it. But trust me, when it actually gets there, they're going to realize what they did. But of course, these people, disassociative indifference, they don't exactly care about other people except themselves to a point to where it's almost like dissociative identity disorder, which of course is why I'm thinking about changing the name of channel to is dissociative indifference. But this right here is definitely going to get interesting here in the very, very near future, especially given the fact that these people virtue signal for these people to get into their neighborhoods and get into their lives. And of course, when they get the overall product, they're going to find out pretty quick that they may have actually invited in their own deaths. Yeah, basically he was saying that it was a holy war, and people were cringing at it, saying that this right here makes me less likely to support you in your effort. And my response to that is this here. Everything in the Middle East is a holy war. When the Russians fought the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, the Mujahideen viewed it as a holy war. When they fought the United States, they viewed it as a holy war. When they fought the British, they viewed it as a holy war. When the Iranians and the Iraqis fought one another, they viewed it as a holy war. These right here are Sunni Muslims who don't put up with the lifestyle that, quite frankly, the United States has been trying to perpetuate across the world. What do you think is going to happen if they go to these very, very big cities? It's a powder keg. It's going to become an absolute disaster, and the left kind of sort of invited it in. They invited in the people that, quite frankly, want to put an end to them. And whose fault is that? Them. I would love to say that it's our politicians, but then again, at the same time, that if you keep voting for the idiot politicians who look to just simply take advantage of the scheme and make your life much, much worse. When I hear somebody saying, look, you voted for it, that doesn't really help things out when you tell them that, well, until they start voting a different way, guess what? I got absolutely no sympathy for that. I empathize, yeah, but sympathize, I can't. These people actually voted for what the hell is going on, and they're about to get an extremely rude awakening when these people get across. The Bernie babies, the ones who live in the city dwellers, they're going to find out they've been led astray mostly by leftist online content creators who live for the most part on clicks and rage bait. But don't worry, we'll be talking about that in video number 3. So with that rather being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and halt this video now. I wanted to make it one great big giant long project, but I realized it's absolutely, let's just say that it would be taking an extremely long time to actually do that. The video would have been about over an hour and a half long, but I'm going to cover that in 4 videos. So make sure you guys leave a comment in the comment section. Please hit the like button. Also, sound off. Please share the video, and I will see you guys later.